Disney announcing its Disney Plus service has reached 50 million subscribers, seemingly ahead of schedule, at least ahead of our next guest's forecast, and he was aggressive. The stock jumping more than 6% in pre-market trading at this point. Joining us now, Rich Greenfield, co-founder and partner at Lightshed Partners. You were aggressive at 50 million by the end of the year, Rich, and we're already there. I guess it's kind of a duh. I've been wondering, what do people that have young children, and they're everywhere, obviously every single person in the country has to deal with this, and I can't imagine having 3 or 4 little ones and trying to figure out what the heck to do. We have enough trouble with, a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old trying to, wanting to do something. But we should not be surprised that people probably subscribed early or decided to get Disney Plus to stream it.
Yeah, look, the reality is what I think gets a little bit lost in yesterday's announcement from Disney is that they were doing really well, meaning well ahead of plans, even before the coronavirus pandemic set in. I mean, if you look at, they got to, nearly 30 million in January. That was already a number that was kind of mind-numbing to Wall Street. Like, they couldn't believe just how big and how fast it was growing. Then you launched in Europe. Obviously, Europe has been saddled with the pandemic. And then you actually launched just last week in India. Basically, you gave it away as part of your existing, several million, maybe even upwards of 5 to 8 million subscribers in India got this at no incremental cost. And so it's a huge number, but it's also, I think what you've already saw was Disney was already doing much better than expected with this product. There's just a tremendous consumer demand globally to stream premium content. And that's really what Disney and many other companies like your parent Comcast with Peacock that's going to launch soon, everyone is playing into, is that consumers want to stream lots of content. And the pandemic is just accelerating that trend.
All right, Rich. So remember when Disney announced this, it was a little bit confounding to see the stock move. When Iger first announced, I think it finally broke out of that trading range down in the 100 and teens, and then it ran up to like 140 or so, even above that, I think. I mean, a lot of it based on this. So now we're up today. We're up 6%, but we're down, we're barely getting back to where even before, it's lower than it was then. And is this, compared to having theme parks closed down, is this incremental to what the stock should be doing? Would you be buying the stock based on this?
Look, I think there's a lot that Disney could do with this, and I think a lot is going to come down to they've got a brand new CEO. I mean, he's been in the job for all of 5 weeks now, and Bob Chapek. There's going to be a real question of what does Bob Chapek do with this? I mean, you've got a much bigger base. Do you use it and take advantage of it? Meaning, do you look at the situation and go, God, movie theaters are going to be maybe they reopen sometime this summer, maybe even in the fall, but with social distancing. And even, I hate to say it, but, what if the virus comes back in any form, come the fall? You look at that and you go, okay, can you wait? If you're the CEO of Disney, can you wait for movie theaters so that you can do $1 billion to $2 billion with a movie like Mulan? Or do you go, look, we've got a base of 50 million subs. Maybe we'll be at 70 or 80 by the end of the year. When you look at the kind of the continued global rollout in Latin America, do you say, you know what, we got to change the model. We got to use Disney Plus far more aggressively with our content to get new movies out to consumers. It's going to be really interesting to see whether Chapek has the guts and the boldness to shift Disney's business model, right, or this is just, hey, we've got a lot more subs, but it's still a very small part of our overall business model.
Hey, Rich, one of the things that I keep hearing among some media executives over the past week is the idea in the film business of actually going to almost a pay-per-view model, layering on top, for example, of a Disney Plus, saying, okay, you're subscribed to Disney Plus, we're gonna release X movie. You can only get it if you're a subscriber, but not only you're a subscriber, you're going to pay $25 for your family to get it, to try to mitigate some of the lost revenue that would have otherwise come in directly off of the theater. What do you make of that idea?
Well, look, there's two models, right? So, I mean, if you have the model where it never goes to theaters. So if you look at what NBC Universal is going to break new ground tomorrow. It's a pretty monumental day in the film industry, where a mainstream consumer movie in Trolls is going to skip the theaters. And I think this plan was, I think I give Jeff Shell and the team at Universal Pictures a lot of credit for being willing to try this. And it's a unique circumstance. A lot of the marketing dollars had already been set in motion for Trolls, but you've got kids stuck at home or families stuck at home. $20 for Trolls direct to consumer tomorrow is really interesting. And I'm certainly rooting for them to do well, because I think this is an important model for the industry. But, Andrew, you asked the question of, okay, when theaters reopen and people don't really want to go to them, is there a model where you say, okay, if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, or you're a Peacock subscriber, or you're an HBO Max subscriber, do you try to market movies at, let's just say a $20 or even $30, kind of premium? And you think about it like Sunday Ticket. You had to have DirecTV to subscribe to Sunday Ticket. You think about UFC. You can't get UFC matches on streaming unless you're already an ESPN Plus subscriber. It's possible you move to that model. I mean, the pay-per-view model is certainly possible. The question just is you're already limiting the universe that can go to it. Right now, anybody can see a movie in a movie theater. Anybody can download Trolls. If you limit the universe to just people that are Disney Plus subscribers, you do run the risk of just not being able to reach as many people as you otherwise would have reached. And so, it's an idea. I think all the studios are trying to figure out our core business of putting movies in theaters, which is where everything started for this industry for decades. It's not clear when hundreds of people are going to feel comfortable in a movie theater. And we ran the math. If you look at a movie theater that has, let's just say, 300 seats generically, if you took out every other row and every other seat, Andrew, 300 seats drops to 78. So if you believe in social distancing in movie theaters for a while, and I have no idea what a while is, your capacity that you could actually do in terms of bodies in theaters is going to drop substantially for a while now.